I mean, to be honest, there's some films that have to be made.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to think sometimes that has to give sort of a different style
to reflect
to
the
it.
time.
Yeah, and with The Confession, you've got something which is really important, and it's a documentary formed around an interview, which is examining the rise of modern jihadism and terrorism and the impact that it has on Western society through the lens of Moazzam Begg, who was in the news a lot over the past decade because he's been arrested quite a few times and he's been convicted. Well, he's never been convicted, but he's always been examined as a terrorist, even though he's clearly not. And this film goes to great lengths to show his innocence because he's not.
Although it does sort of test him on
it does test him on certain things, but basically he was detained at Guantanamo Bay for quite a while as well, and several other countries on suspicion of terrorism, even though he has never been convicted for a crime. And I think I was just really gripped throughout, really, because it is so sensitive. You've got to feel like by the way it looks at Begg, because he is a man who is he's constantly being convicted for things he hasn't done, and you really get to see like the portrait of a man who's sick of it, and you see the fiery side come out, and the interviewer gets really, he gets in his face. It becomes very confrontational at times, and you really get to see the sense of it. And I like that the interviewer did spend plenty of time taking his time to gauge in and question the sides of the story that Begg was presenting. And I don't know, but what do you feel about the way it was going about it?
I agree. It could have been a very one-sided affair, but it does challenge Begg's beliefs. I mean, it's a difficult topic to tackle because it's very real at the minute. It's a very real hot topic. But I think it explores it in an interesting way. I think the interview situation is good because it's just focused on Begg and his beliefs that, really, without being too drawn into it and getting into the discussion about that subject matter, he's not. It's hard to kind of say, but it is really hard to explain. I think he's not doing anything wrong. That's kind of what it is, without drawing anything further than that. Yep. But Joe, you kind of weren't as bothered.
Not really.
We came out and you were like, that felt really long.
Yeah, it felt really, really long. I mean, I get what it does, with the sitting down. I agree. Yeah, it's very good how the film it doesn't.
I like how it's profoundly uncinematic.
I mean, yeah, but that's
kind of
it. It doesn't interest me. I mean, I think you said it was coming on telly, didn't you?
Well, it's part of the BBC Storyville series, so I imagine it will be on BBC.
I think it's a film that is definitely more suited to television rather than cinema.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's my only little complaint with it. I didn't expect something like this to be in a cinema screen. I couldn't imagine watching something like this in the cinema. I think it's more of a film suited for television.
Yeah.
But other than that, I agree. I'm glad the film wasn't one-sided in the story at all. It wasn't as, I didn't feel as riveted as some other people felt, I suppose, but it was interesting.
I just liked how Ashish Ghadiali, apologies. I love the fact that it is a testimony of one man's personal experiences during the war on terror and all of the horrible stuff that's gone over the past decade. It's not sort of a broad look at it, and it's highly informative in that way because you see it from another lens, because you've got a man here that is very passionately British and also very passionately a Muslim.
Yeah.
And it's incredible to see that mix. This man is clearly so confident in what he does and so passionate in his beliefs that you understand the story from him better than a lot of the media sources, and it's sort of the note that it leaves it on in the end, isn't it? That you can never truly believe some of the bents the media puts it on.
We've had quite a lot of that kind of thing.
I think it's important. Yeah.
So that's The Confession. Important viewing, I would say.
Definitely.
It's quite open. Certainly, it's something that we might not have seen if it wasn't for the show. But as we've done this show, I've kind of leaned more towards the informative stuff like this. So it's interesting. That's The Confession.